What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash, specifically versus Bitcoin, actually, in requests of Mr. Gold Star OG. Gold Star OG, we're doing this one for you. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. Shout out to the House of the Dragon and the Dragon Riders. We are riding the Green Dragon this week, it looks like. We just skipped past the whole bullish or the Green Dragonfly, and we're going right for a bullish hammer maybe, or some kind of reverse shooting star. I don't know. 353.64 is what we're at right now. On a daily basis, we had a nice little pump. Yes, we did, pumping about 13% yesterday. We did close above 344, the desired area to close above if we're to invalidate the idea of going lower. Generally speaking, with this kind of look, you do interact with the overbought or the extended areas right here, and you reached for it, but you just couldn't quite get there. Close above your 886. The next area to kind of invalidate that we would go lower, invalidate the idea would to be closing above the 618. Just because we've done that doesn't mean that we are absolved of going down here. It absolutely still could happen, and I did say that we need 2 days to close above this line. So we've got 1 day. Let's get today to do it. We can move back below. That's okay. We just want to close above. Okay, it's okay if today we're below 344. If today we're below 335, it's okay. We just don't want to close down there. We want to close above 344. Get down there, come back up if we do that at all. The daily RSI is rather neutral on Bitcoin Cash. It's not too exciting. There's both good things and bad things, but I suppose that makes sense because being in this range right here, very neutral in itself. We're literally in the midway point of this kind of area. We could be finding resistance at previous areas of support back here, which also correlate to other areas of support back here. We could be finding resistance in this area right now and coming back, furthering the idea of that would be rejecting this 50 here. It could happen. I'm quite confident that that's the low. It does to me look like some kind of, this could be like an atom in atom. It could be, and I'll go over that in a second too as to why I think it could be. Maybe if we look at it on a 4 hour, it might be a little bit more obvious. This actually kind of looks more like an eve and an atom down here. But on a daily basis, it kind of looks like an atom and atom. Back here, I said I was going to do this later, but we're going to do it now because I forgot where my train of thought was going. But right here we had an atom, right? And it definitely, very small kind of pattern. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but definitely has a VV kind of bottom, and that promoted some strong growth in a very short amount of time afterwards. Could we be doing the same thing here? It's possible. Either way you look at it, definitely looks like some kind of double bottom. All right, that's what I was saying. The idea of rejecting here, rejecting at these previous areas of support, could cause us to pursue prices a little bit lower than we are right now. Doesn't mean that we have to see a lower low. We could get below these low closes, but still find a higher low overall. That's what we want to see if we were to pull back. I suppose what we really want to see is this kind of atom and atom look, right? Just straight V bottom out of here. That'd be really nice, but we won't know until, I guess until we're above this here, and if we make kind of a straight run for it day after day after day. If we do something like this where we pull back and get a higher low, I think this would start to look a little bit less like an atom and atom. And again, regardless of what it is, it definitely does look like some kind of double bottom. The daily RSI got into the oversold zone just for a little bit, rejected that area, and is back up neutral right now. The 4 hour RSI is very bullishly postured. The 1 hour RSI is very bullishly postured. Good things are expected in the short term, but who's to say day by day, week by week, what we do from here? I do expect that this is the low, but if we do go lower, today, tomorrow, throughout the rest of this week at all, I would hope that we hold that $330 area. And the reason for that, if we look at this 4 hour here, like right there, that's basically, right at 330. Again, we can go below 344. I just wouldn't like to see any days close below 344. 4 hours are fine, but days, no. If we close like just below it, it's okay, but what we really don't want to do, I think, would be to get too much below this line. It's okay if we go down here, but we want to find support down here if we even go down there. Again, under the impression that we could be in some kind of atom V double bottom here. That would be nice to see as well, and that would definitely imply rather immediate bullish price targets, but we don't know yet. Time will tell. I would really say that would be a plausibility once we're above this high here. And we'd have to be above it in a very short amount of time, but it's still a long ways off. Anyways, I'm repeating myself now. We're at 353, 66 cents. I have faith that we'll go higher, but it really wouldn't surprise me that we find resistance here. So if we do come down today, as long as we're not going below 330, I'm okay with that. I'd really like to see us, if we were to go down that low, to come back up and close above 344, right? By the end of the day, closing above that level there. And really just the higher that we close today, tomorrow, the next day, that the more momentum we can gain, the more volume that comes in as we're moving up, the better things would look for this kind of immediate rapid recovery and extension into the next move, which I do believe is going to take us, from a high to a low here, anywhere from $936 to $1,300 at a minimum. It's a minimum target area. The next level that I would expect would be 1,700 to about 2,500, somewhere in that range. Very possible area, but we'll see. And these are targets, by the way, for the end of the year. This whole thing here is end of the year targets, not end of cycle targets, end of the year targets, right? We're in August right now. It's 4 months, right? 5 months. All of August, September, October, November, December, 5 months, I suppose, right? End of the year, a little bit less than 5 months' time. Anyways, let's get into BCH BTC. I feel like I spent enough time on that. I hope it makes sense. BCH BTC having a hell of a rejection. I think the last time I made a BCH BTC video, I was talking about all the poor suckers that sold down here. They sold their Bitcoin Cash for BTC down here with the Mt. Gox release, right? But I think it was literally at the top, and then we just harsh rejection that day. Looking at this chart, though, I'm still bullish as I have been, bullish as ever, right? Weekly RSI, the weekly RSI looks productive. It does look productive. It's precariously placed. I'd like to see some movements up for sure, but I'm not worried about it given the overall kind of structure of it. I'm not worried that we won't get this move. I do think that we will get this move up, is what I'm trying to say. And that move up in the RSI would likely result in the extension of this high to low of this consolidation range here, which would take us up to about 1.356% of a Bitcoin, 1.8% of a Bitcoin, something like that. If we're looking at the shorter term stuff on a daily, I like the daily RSI. You're definitely in an uptrend right now. Absolutely. If you can't see it, I'll draw it for you. But like that right there, it's a pretty well-defined channel upwards, of which you're at the bottom of right now, of which you're like bouncing off the 40 area, right? All good things, all very productive things. So what this would tell me is if Bitcoin goes down today, Bitcoin Cash goes down less, or maybe it goes down more for a brief period, but it won't close the day with a lesser gain than Bitcoin. And likely that's not what's going to happen, right? If Bitcoin goes down, Bitcoin Cash likely will not go down less, though we've seen that plenty of times, right? But more likely what this means is that if Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin Cash just goes up more. That's probably what this means. Relatively neutral, kind of. I would call this a broadening, maybe not a broadening bottom. Perhaps it's a broadening wedge on the bottom. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. I love that because the next one is the breakout one. I don't know, man. Pretty confident, pretty comfortable with calling for BCH BTC to start moving up to see some new session highs. That's for sure. I don't mind the daily RSI at all. I really don't. 4 hours looking productive as well. I think we're going to move up. So I guess the next target area to watch for, I wonder, would it line up with this 618? Look at that. Got your 1886, 2272 split in that 618 golden retracement zone. Seeing a deeper extension on a smaller fib retracement makes sense to me. But your 1272 is right above the 382 there, so that's also nice. Yeah, so probably your next goal for Bitcoin Cash versus BTC would be about 0.7138%. So it'd be 0.007138%, right? Like in the terms of percentages, it'd be 0.7%, right? Anyways, that area, that's our next target area. And it looks like we're going to go there. And by the way that this thing looks and how it likes to move, it'll probably be in a short amount of time. This would actually line up very well with the idea that BCH is about to V-bottom. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. But bullish, yeah. Bullish on the 1 hour, bullish on the 4 hour, bullish for sure on the daily, and the weekly is absolutely bullish. However, it is precariously placed, but I think given a few days, given some time, it'll come out to be exactly what we've been waiting for it to be. And this is a big deal. I'm going to end the video with this. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, but that's not it. This is what I'm going to end the video with, which will be what I end the video with every single time that I talk about this section of BCH versus BTC. Okay? You zoom out. This is the chart that any Bitcoin maximalist over a Bitcoin casher would have, like, to just scoreboard, you suck, right? Like, literally, this is the one thing that shuts up any arguments of whatever any side wants to bring. Like, clearly, Bitcoin Cash has been in a well-defined downtrend its entire life up until this cycle. We're doing things differently. We are doing things differently. And we've almost got the whole enchilada here, you guys, right? The bears had the whole enchilada. They had their sideways moments, but still tilted down, still lower highs, still lower lows. They had their volume picking up as we were moving down, right? They had their strong moves that brought you into the oversold zone. But now, right now, you motherfuckers, you dragon riders, it's our time. It's our time. And with this move up, this next move up, we would undeniably, at this point, not just be doing something different in the sense of moving sideways for an extended period of time, but working on something we've never seen before, which would be a higher low, higher high structure versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash would be one of a handful, if not like maybe zero altcoins that has gone multiple cycles negative against Bitcoin, right? Because this is 2 bear cycles negative. To the end of a bull cycle, 1 full bull cycle, but 2 full bear cycles negative versus Bitcoin. And then on its 3rd cycle, its 3rd bull market, by the end of its 3rd bear market, be the only coin or one of a few coins, I can't think of any, that would turn its chart around versus Bitcoin. Most charts that look like this, they become irrelevant. But this one's different, man. And I think that those exact words, this one's different, something's worth looking at with Bitcoin Cash, will start to be generated more in the space when we do have this absolutely defined, no ands, ifs, or buts about it, uptrend versus Bitcoin. And that's why this is such a big deal. That's why I spent 10 minutes to emphasize it, right? That's why we're talking about it now, because it really is, it's a humongous deal. It bleeds, this versus Bitcoin bleeds into the price action of BCH itself, right? This is what allows us to break out of this downtrend that we've been in since the beginning of time. Not a downtrend, sorry, this downward sloping trend line. Technically, it's not a downtrend, right? If you're taking the top as a downtrend, you got to look at the bottom. It's a consolidation phase. This would correspond with a break of this. And if we break this, if Bitcoin Cash has only been in this box, this triangle, for its whole life, and it breaks this, it's only been going in a downtrend its whole life, but it sets a new status quo. It sees the strongest weekly readings that it's ever seen, ever in its history. It's seeing price targets above the 123 moving average on a weekly basis, which isn't fair to say for back here, right? But I think it's fair. I think it's a fair assumption that, and it is a very clear statement, that this is the first time we've actually interacted and held readings up above this area. We're doing things differently. And if we break this, it's not just going to stop here. It's not just going to stop here. That's, in my opinion, and I think technically by if this was to be some kind of pattern, the technical definition would be that you return to the top of the pattern. But also, with my knowledge of fibs that I've accrued over the past 7 years or so now, from a high to a low of the consolidation phase as a total is oftentimes a very well respected extended zone target area. We're at $351 right now. The more I talk about it, the more it goes down. I'm going to end this video. But 13K to 53K, yes, even 53K. Those are the targets, guys. This look, just on a fib perspective, going up to your 382, rejecting it, going down to your 236, moving up above your 382 to come back and find support on it, which is absolutely what you're doing right now. This is constructive behavior that leads with breaking above your 61869, which again would lead to breaking this, which again would lead to establishing an uptrend versus Bitcoin. All these things. You break above this zone, the only thing standing in front of you besides getting to these targets, the only thing standing in front of you before you get to these targets is the 886, $2,700. That's it. We start closing days or months above that, it's on. It is on in a very short amount of time. And who knows when? Who knows when we're going to get there? Who knows when it's going to be on for this next relative high? I don't think it's going to be a straight shot up the whole time, but I do think that some of the most important things that have happened as far as price action goes in Bitcoin Cash's history are about to happen right now. It's about to happen right now, this month, next month, sometime in the next 2 months. It really could happen this month, you guys. It's starting here, right? This move up right here, it started down here. How this was for this move, this is us for this next move. That's going to be incredible. It's going to be insane. It's going to be something that people, mark my words, it's going to be something that will get people to talk about it more regularly and not look at it like it's some kind of joke or scam coin. I'm not going to name names, but I've seen some big accounts brush it off even when it is up. They're like, oh yeah, I guess Bitcoin Cash is up, whatever. They'll just like brush it off. It won't be like that anymore. It really won't be like that anymore. That's what all this means. And I don't know. I'm just going to end the video there. I keep saying that, so hit that like button, subscribe one last time, you guys. Perfect time to buy some Bitcoin Cash. On that note of ending the video, I forget who it was in Discord that asked if it was a good time to buy, but even with the recent pump, even with our recent, well, with the recent dump, I should say, but with the recent pump this week from the lows to the high, right, or to the current price, we're at a 29% increase. Still a great time to buy. We're well below $400. This is an incredible, I don't care if it goes below $200. I don't care if I'm wrong and that's not the low and it goes lower. Still an incredible opportunity to buy. This is some of the lowest areas you've been throughout this whole phase, right? Like, you're just above this high here. It's an incredible time to buy. Don't wait. Not financial advice, but don't wait. When I talk like that, don't wait, doesn't mean those targets are happening tomorrow, but you're going to blink. It's going to be 3 months, 4 months goes by. We're sitting around the fire at Christmas, and we're like, holy shit, Bitcoin Cash is almost worth $2,000. Can you guys believe this? Can you guys believe this? Like, where did this come from? We know where it came from. We know all the things that are lining up. All the stars are aligned. We just have to pierce the veil, and it starts here. And I'm done for real this time, so bye-bye.